This is the Novogratz Bushwick modern metal bed, with that sleek black powder-coated frame and the slightly triangular headboard and footboard featuring inset spindles. The shape is clean and modern, with a subtle peak at the center of both ends that gives it a little personality without getting fussy. The spindles are fixed and solid, and the lines stay slim, so it looks airy but still grounded. Key features that stand out to me start with the platform design. No box spring is needed. The mattress sits on metal slats tied into a steel frame with a center beam and support legs, so the weight is distributed evenly and the feel is firm and stable. The base has two height settings, and I went with the higher one because I wanted the storage. At that setting, there's about 11 inches of clearance under the side rails, which swallows those standard low storage bins and even lets a robot vacuum glide underneath. The overall footprint is what you'd expect for a king, about 82.5 inches long, 78 inches wide, and 42 inches tall at the headboard, so it has presence without feeling bulky. From my experience, assembly is straightforward if you set aside a relaxed hour or so. The parts are labeled, the instructions are clear, and the hardware is bagged by step. I put most of it together solo with the included tools and a cordless driver on a low clutch setting to speed up the repetitive screws. The frame pieces line up cleanly, and the slats drop into place without weird flex or fiddle. I appreciated that the box included a few extra bolts and washers, which always lowers my stress if one rolls under a dresser. The bed arrives well packed. The powder coat came out of the box looking even and smooth with no dings. Sleeping on it has been great. I like a supportive surface, and this delivers that steady, quiet base where the mattress does the comfort work and the frame does the support. The center beam and middle support legs make a real difference for a king, especially if two people share the bed. The first night, I did catch a tiny squeak from one corner when I shifted. That was on me. After the mattress settled, I went back with the hex key and snugged every joint. I also hit a couple of friction points with a bit of silicone spray. Since then, it's been quiet. If you're new to metal frames, that step of retightening after the first few nights can help the bed stay silent long term. In my opinion, the look is the sweet spot between simple and stylish. The black finish works with almost any color palette, which is nice if you haven't committed to paint or you swap bedding a lot. The slight triangle at the headboard keeps it from feeling plain, while the lines keep the lines light. I've paired it with different bedding, crisp white, charcoal, even a muted green, and it all looks intentional. Metal also brings a clean vibe for anyone sensitive to dust that can build up in fabric headboards. There are a few practical trade-offs to know. The frame weighs about 67 pounds, so it's not hard to handle, but you'll want a second person if you're carrying it upstairs or flipping the assembled frame. Plan the spot before you tighten everything. The finish is durable, but like any powder coat, it can scratch if you drag tools along it or slide it across gritty floors. I put felt pads under the feet to protect hardwood and make small position tweaks easier. If you move often, break it down into the main rails and headboard/footboard instead of trying to shift the whole assembled bed. As for durability, the steel feels reassuringly solid once tightened. I haven't seen any bending or slat movement. The spindles don't rattle and the welds are clean. The care is minimal, just wipe with a damp cloth when dust shows. If you ever hear a noise months later, it's usually a joint that wants a small turn of the hex key. A tiny dab of non-permanent thread locker on the bolts you touch most is optional, but it can help if you live in a place where floors flex. It's worth noting the flexibility built into this design. If you don't need the full underbed clearance, you can set the base at the lower height for a more tucked-in look, and your mattress will sit closer to the rails. If you do go high like I did, you gain easy storage for out-of-season bedding, luggage, or bins of kids' stuff. That space under a king frame is valuable real estate. The line comes in multiple sizes, but this specific frame is the king model, so it's meant for a king mattress. It plays well with foam, hybrid, or inner spring since the slats provide even support. There's no box spring to creak or sag, and that simplifies the setup. I also like the small confidence touches. The brand is Novogratz, and the manufacturer listed is Dorel Home Products with a 1-year limited warranty, which at least gives a safety net. The broader customer response lines up with my take. Ratings hover around 4.2 out of 5 from a large pool of buyers, and the consistent themes are sturdiness, clean design, and easy assembly. The common complaint is early squeakiness, which I addressed above with tightening and lube. That's not unusual for metal frames that ship flat. It's perfect for a guest room where you want something attractive, sturdy, and hassle-free. It's also a strong fit for a primary bedroom if you like a modern, slightly industrial look that won't fight your bedding choices. If space is tight, the underbed clearance becomes a practical storage solution. I'm a fan of the no-box spring setup because it reduces cost, reduces height if you prefer a low-profile feel, and keeps the frame streamlined. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants a reliable metal bed with a modern silhouette, people who prefer a firm platform under their mattress, renters and homeowners who want underbed storage without buying extra furniture, and anyone who wants a black finish that blends with existing decor. If you're sensitive to noise, just be willing to give the bolts a final snug after a few nights. If you're moving solo or have lots of stairs, plan ahead because of the weight or assemble it in the room where it will live. From my experience, the day-to-day living is exactly what I hoped for. The frame doesn't shift, the headboard doesn't flex, and the mattress stays put. I've bumped it with a vacuum and it didn't nick, and cleaning is just a quick wipe down. If you like swapping quilting sets, throws, or pillows across seasons, the black powder coat is a neutral base that makes everything look curated instead of chaotic. The triangle detail at the top reads subtle on camera and in person, and the spindles add just enough texture to keep the eye moving. In conclusion, the Novogratz Bushwick modern metal bed brings together the stuff that matters: simple assembly, true support without a box spring, real storage clearance, and a style that plays nice with any room. It's sturdy, it looks good on day 1 and day 100, and it asks for very little upkeep. The few quirks it has are easy to handle with basic tools and a few minutes of attention. If you're after a king frame that's modern, dependable, and budget smart, this one checks the boxes for me. You can view detailed information about the Novogratz Bushwick modern metal bed in the comments section. Thank you for watching.